This is the Valley Today.
Get out while the time to prepare has now essentially run out. That's word from Florida's governor as Hurricane Ian builds up steam and heads toward the southwestern part of the state. Already hitting parts of it already. Hurricane Ian strengthened overnight and its outer bands are already lashing South Florida. Now the storm is expected to make landfall this afternoon as a Category 4 major hurricane.
High winds and heavy rain swamped the Keys overnight, and there were several tornado warnings across South Florida. About 2.5 million Floridians are being ordered to evacuate. And it's a total blackout in Cuba. The hurricane has knocked out the power to the entire island, and government crews rushing to restore electricity as we speak. Rain and wind lashed Cuba's western tip, where authorities evacuated more than 50,000 people as Ian built up to, again, that major Category 4 storm.
Now there are 55 shelters set up, and emergency personnel are taking steps to protect crops in Cuba, like the main tobacco growing region. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says Cuba's west coast is seeing a major storm surge, and in some parts is as high as 14 feet.
6:02 on our Wednesday. Time now for a closer look, I should say, at the tropical storm through our tropical tracker. Hi, Lisa.
Good morning. Yes, we're looking at that storm making its way closer and closer to the Florida coast. Of course, I'm talking about the center of the storm, the eye, well defined here, but it has been hitting Florida for a while now. Of course, you know these storms expand hundreds of miles sometimes as they are quite large as they're moving through. So the strongest winds, of course, right around the eye wall here. So zooming in a little bit more, it's still off of the coast of Florida. There's Fort Myers, Naples here, so it's very close to those areas, moving to the northeast. So we're looking at a landfall later today, a little bit north and east of there. It continues to strengthen. We are a Category 4 storm here, 155 mile per hour sustained winds, and gusts have picked up now to 190 miles per hour. Pressure continues to drop. So now we're down to 937 millibars. You just want to pay attention to that number. If it's going down, that means the storm is strengthening. And it's moving to the northeast at 9 miles per hour. So northeast, that means we're looking at this making its way toward landfall as a Category 4 storm. It could be here somewhere between Fort Myers and the Sarasota area here into the afternoon, or perhaps a little bit later here into the early evening hours today. Once it makes its way over land, it does start to weaken because it gets its energy from the warm waters. So overland, it starts to weaken to a Category 1 storm overnight, and then eventually reaching that Daytona Beach area as a tropical storm before it moves back out to sea heading into the day on Thursday. So again, this is going to have widespread impacts throughout the peninsula of Florida. Here in the valley, it's a very different story, but we do have some hazards here. We've got a frost advisory in effect, widespread areas of temperatures near freezing, and even some of us below freezing under that freeze warning, all in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. A look at your latest numbers. Check out Bemidji, back down to 27. Once we get to that number, we're talking hard freeze or killing freeze. So end of growing season going on in the Bemidji area. It's 33 in Jamestown, so in the southwest, it's quite cool. And Grand Forks is down to 34. Fargo's been hanging on to 40 degrees, so it hasn't been so chilly in Fargo for the last couple of hours. We were initially into the upper 30s. Detroit Lake's 37, and Devil's Lake, the wind has picked up there out of the south, so we're a little bit warmer. Looking at quiet conditions, just a few clouds passing through here as we head into the morning and through the day today, so more of a partly cloudy kind of day. Once we get through this morning and perhaps a little frosty windshields out there that you may have to get that defroster going for, we're looking at maybe wanting to roll down your window a little bit this afternoon. Heading home from work, we're looking at temperatures into the 60s as temperatures rise with a south wind. So changes happening today. It's going to be really cold this morning compared to what we're used to, but we see that turnaround going as early as this afternoon, and then more this week coming our way heading into the weekend and heading into October. So we'll have forecast details on that coming in just a couple of minutes.
All right, a lot to track locally as well as nationally. Thank you for all of that information, Lisa. We could hear later today who's involved in a death investigation in Becker County. Deputies were called yesterday morning to a home outside of Detroit Lakes on County Road 6.
And they found the bodies of a man, a woman, and 2 dogs. Sheriff's investigators and the State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension were on the scene investigating throughout the day and well into the night.
Obviously, it's a tragic event, and we feel for the family and friends of the deceased.
The Ramsey County Medical Examiner is conducting autopsies to positively ID the victims and to determine the cause of deaths. The sheriff says this incident appears to be an isolated event and he doesn't believe the public is in danger at this time.
Deputies discovered the bodies after being called about the need for police at the home, but authorities are not saying who made that call. Still stunned days after a devastating fire over the weekend, one Fargo family hopes their story reminds others to be prepared for a disaster.
Firefighters battled flames for hours at the West Winds complex on 42nd Street South Sunday. Tenants from 24 units are displaced. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Bailey Hurley has one family's story.
It was a normal, lazy Sunday for the Juniper family in their second floor unit they've called home for almost a decade now. That is until about 3 p.m. rolled around.
We were smelling something hot and we couldn't figure out what it was, and my son looks out his window and it looked like a sandstorm.
And when they investigated further,
it was smoke and flames.
The blaze was burning through their balcony when the family grabbed their dog and pet lizard and ran outside.
It broke my heart.
Juniper says her family watched in horror as 20 years of memories were turned to ash. Firefighters unable to save their unit from total destruction.
Pretty much everything is gone. We really have nothing left to get back.
She says while the loss is devastating, she's just thankful her family and neighbors were able to escape before it was too late. And she says she hopes her story encourages everyone to make sure smoke detectors are working and to go over fire safety plans with your family.
Because you never know.
In Fargo, Bailey Hurley, Valley News Live.
The Juniper family is still searching for a new place to call home. They're staying with family right now. A GoFundMe has been set up to help them get back on their feet. You can find that on our VNL News app.
Fargo's police chief says last week's large police presence at a Southside home was part of a larger federal investigation that he says will have a significant impact on crime and safety throughout Fargo. David Zabolski says details won't be released, though, for another 30 to 45 days.
It happened a week ago today near 7th Street and 9th Avenue, which is close to Hawthorne Elementary School. People living in that area saw a helicopter hovering over the neighborhood. Several K-9 teams are on the ground, and they also heard 2 flashbang explosions. New this morning, the Cavalier County Sheriff's Department wants your help in identifying these burglars.
Yeah, take a look at your screen there. Authorities say these 2 were involved in a string of break-ins around the Munich area. If you have any information on these 2 or what happened, be sure to call local authorities.
Police say that 6 people hurt in an early morning crash yesterday are affiliated with the rapper B.O.B., who had a concert in Grand Forks on Sunday night. 32-year-old Star Shaw Swift was arrested for DUI, reckless endangerment, and driving under suspension after police say she hit a median on Demers Avenue and then rolled.
2 of her 6 passengers were thrown from the vehicle and needed CPR. 4 others were also injured, but police say not seriously. So to come in the Valley today, the close to $400 fix to slow carjackers.
But next, Lisa Green is in with a check of our very cool morning here in the metro, and also she'll have the very latest on the hurricane slamming Florida.